Okay, welcome back. Again, my name is Dr. Schuessler, and this is going to be the last video. This one's going to be over the syllabus and the schedule. So, again, we'll run through it real quick in class tomorrow just to make sure that everybody's familiar with it. But again, this is something that I do in my face-to-face, in my online classes. So I want this to be somewhat consistent with that. So again, this is our home page. You can probably tell if you watched the previous video, I've changed the images around just a bit, but the one that I just created is right there. So if you click on that, that opens up into a new window there. So let's go ahead and launch the syllabus and the schedule so that they will get loaded for us. And again, these are just external documents in Office 365, and they're Word documents. So let's go ahead and take a look at each one of these and run through them real quickly. So here at the top is the basic course information, my contact information. I'm in my office Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Sort of. I'm an associate dean, so it means I get called away to a lot of different meetings and things like that. So if you need to come see me, certainly if my door is open, you're more than welcome to come on in. Otherwise, it's probably best to send me an email and let's work out a specific day and a specific time so that I can get that into my calendar. That way I can make sure that I'm here for you. But like I said, if my door is open, feel free to stop on in. The course materials, this is the book that we're going to be covering this semester. So if you have looked at the schedule yet, or what we'll look at here in just a second, we kind of get started. We're off to a pretty fast pace. This is a pretty straightforward class. There's not really any tricks to the class, but we do kind of get going pretty quickly. Also, you really need Office 365. It's free to you as a student, so take advantage of that. You're going to create, as far as one of the homework assignments, you're going to create an Office 365 folder and share that with me. And so it's best if you've got a computer, Office 365, microphone, webcam, all of those kinds of things. Something else that we're trying to place a lot of emphasis on are Tarleton's core values. We try to hold these with all of our students. We try to hold ourselves accountable to these values as well. So be sure to make sure that you understand what Tarleton's core values are. And if you have any questions, by all means ask. But things like integrity and leadership, tradition, civility, excellence, and service are extremely important. So make sure you're living up to those values. I don't usually have an attendance policy, however, in this class, because it is a transitioning to university studies class, I really feel that setting an example is very important. So I am instituting an attendance policy for this class. We're only meeting 11 times, not including the final exam, so I don't think it's unreasonable to expect you to attend class. Basically, I'm going to give you one free class. You've missed that class. It's no big deal. I don't need to know why. It doesn't matter. I'm giving you your one free drop. Because I'm giving you a free drop class, there are no excuses for any other missed classes. So, again, I don't need excuses. You've got one free drop. I suggest you use it wisely. If you use it too early, be careful. I'd rather, if I was you, I'd save it up till towards the end of the semester and then use it then. If you go beyond that, I start dropping your overall grade by 5% for each additional absence. So keep that in mind. Course description, prerequisites, they're known. Some of the learning outcomes that students will evaluate evidence in class and interpretation or arguments. You'll synthesize various components of information to form rational conclusions, expressing ideas in written, visual, or oral forms to a range of diverse audiences in multiple settings, demonstrate an understanding of ethical standards applied to decision making, and demonstrate an understanding of basic financial literacy, including budgeting, managing debt and credit, saving and investing, preventing identity theft, and retirement planning. So course deliverables and exams. This is what students are usually the most interested in. So there's two basic sections. There's the course content, and then there are other. Course content's made up basically of assignments and assessments. So there's 10 homework assignments and 10 quizzes or 10 assessments. And that makes up the bulk of your grade. Your quiz scores are released immediately once you submit the quiz. However, correct and incorrect answers are not released until all quizzes have been scored. So check back after the due date and due time to see the breakdown of your scores. Let's see, assignments are there. They're all already posted, so you can go ahead and get started on those. There's also some other assignments, and these are ones that I felt were important to add to the class. So basically, there's a pre-test and a post-test. They're each worth, I believe I changed that to 25 points. They're each worth 25 points. Does not matter how well or how poorly you do on those tests. If you complete them, you'll get your 25 points. So do not stress about those points. Here's a breakdown of the scores for each one. So you can see the assessments are worth 950 points, or 53% of your grade. The homework assignments are worth 28% of your grade. And then the other category is worth 19% of your grade. Late assignments, don't take them. Everything's posted, so there's no reason that anything should be late. Student expectations are all posted right there. And these are basic expectations. There's nothing surprising in there. Show up to class, do your work, all those kinds of things. Probably the most important one, particularly in online classes, is check Blackboard regularly. That's extremely important. So, the rest of the syllabus is boilerplate. This is stuff that the university requires and or stuff that I include in all my syllabi. So the college's mission statement, our vision statement, core values, Center for Academic Testing, Access and Academic Testing is there. Academic Integrity Statement, Civility Statement, Standards of Conduct, and Academic Dishonesty. Turnitin.com policy, Americans with Disabilities Act statement, service statement, academic excellence statement, academic affairs statement, and copyright information. This next section is something I really think is important. I think all of you, and we talked about this a little bit the other day in class, need to be thinking about career services. It's regardless of which stage of your college life you're in. At the beginning, you need to be talking to her in terms of trying to identify, trying to work on resumes and attend job fairs, just so you can kind of start to get a feel for things. As you advance, you're going to want to start to see her more for developing your resume, refining it, looking for internship opportunities and things like that. As you conclude your time here, you really want to be seeing her, visiting her to polish off that resume, to be applying for jobs and looking for job opportunities. So she's somebody you should be familiar with, regardless of what stage you're in your academic career. Finally, here towards the bottom, we have the important dates for the university. This is technically it's a 16-week session, so it's the full 16-week session. These are important days for drops, final exams, and all of those kinds of things. Finally, we have the disclaimer. I reserve the right to make modifications to this information throughout the semester. The course schedule is also tentative. The instructor reserves the right to change this syllabus at any time, but any changes will be announced in class in advance. Finally, I do try to take learning styles and personality assessments and student evaluation scores seriously. Traditionally, I've always scored these things using Google Forms. I switched over to Office 365. So at this point, I don't have any data. So this is also the first time I've taught this course. So I don't have any of that data for this course yet. But at some point I will, and I will post the results there. As far as the schedule, this is the current schedule. I've got everything laid out in 4 columns: the week, the date, the topic, and assignments. Assignments, unless otherwise noted, are due at 9:30 p.m. on the Sunday in which they're due. So for this very first week, Sunday is on 9/2. So that's when these assignments will be due. Next week, Sunday 9/9, these assignments will be due, and so on. We start out, we're in class pretty regularly, so you can see that, but they're here towards the end, we start to have a few times when we don't have class. So we're going to skip class then, no class then or then, and then we have a final post-test there, but there's no class that day either. So we're not in class every week in this particular course. The content that we'll be covering each day, this very first class tomorrow, We'll be talking about introductions and syllabus. I'll tell you a little bit more about who I am. We'll be going over this syllabus. This video is really more for your reference in the future if you need it. But we'll be going over that class, and you can ask any questions that you might have. We'll be talking a little bit about Module 1 in Blackboard and going through Chapter 1 of the text. Other than that, you're on your own over here. Again, I'd probably wait till after class to start on these, just so we can talk about it and address any questions that you have. But that way we can make sure that you understand the expectations and you can work your way through it. So that is it as far as the syllabus and the schedule. Again, return here. This is the introduction video to Blackboard. This is this video that I'm putting right now. A link will be posted right there. Click on that and you can review the syllabus. So if you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in class tomorrow. Take care.